doesn't know everything. I frankly have been very disappointed in Tinubu, very disappointed. I thought he understood economics. Now I realize he's just a bookkeeper.
How do you mean bookkeeper?
Because bookkeeper is an accountant. He's an accountant. He collects money, accounts for it, but to develop business, to develop the economy, takes a business mind. Somebody who has run industry before, employers, employees, understand the give and take in business. Evidently, he doesn't know it.
This is not a new video. This is some months ago video. Yes, he's right. He's right saying that, but he shouldn't be disappointed because all the indications were very clear from the beginning that Tinubu will never make a good president. But nobody listened then when we were speaking. A lot of people were speaking at that time. Nobody listened. Peter Obi were campaigning, going around the country, explaining to us what he promised to do, what he was going to do, how he promised to change a lot of things. But nobody listened to them. Everybody at that time were against Peter Obi. The hatred was just too much. And they said Tinubu is number one. If not Tinubu, heaven will come down. Today, Tinubu have everything. Not really because Nigerians listened to them at that time. Nigerians did all their best true to the message from Peter Obi. They said no, they need a change of government. They all came out. We all came out. We voted for Peter Obi. That man whom we saw the future of Nigeria in his hand, turning things around for good. But INEC and Tinubu and his member, they came together. They said no, Nigeria is not matured for a better Nigeria. Nigeria is not matured yet. He needs to take us back to 1960. Taking us backwards, 30 years backwards. This is the reality of what happened in 2023. Because it was not really, Nigerian did not vote. But today, people will say, yeah, people voted. We're not saying that people did. People vote anyhow, but that vote were not what made Tinubu the president. If it was by vote, Peter Obi won the election. Straight up. But INEC were scared of his dear life. He did everything what Tinubu asked him to do. They get away with it. This is the reality. I'm sure God is judging all of them, including all the Supreme Court judges. Everybody who stood, who compromised for Tinubu to be the president. God is judging all of them. God is watching them. Even your heart will never forgive you for doing that, for putting Nigeria in this state, this condition, for making Nigerians going through this unnecessary hardship, unnecessary suffering. God will never forgive them. Anybody who stood, who compromised for Tinubu to be the president. Because those people, I know very well, those people were also scared of their dear life. If you don't do it, you get this. If you don't do it, you get this. They don't want to get that. They do what they asked to do. That's the problem here. So, everybody, just for one person want to be the president because he has the power, everything. Make millions of Nigerians going through this pain. It's unnecessary hardship. This is not God designed. It's not. See, let nobody even bring that issue. God know why this country is going through this process at this time, so that God want to rebuild this country. First of all, want to suffer his children. Hey, yo, do like this. Not bring God into any matter, any political matter. The reason the suffering Nigerians are going through, because some people are beginning to say that God know why. You know that's what they used to say. No, anyways, to say. How many will you talk? Take your time, watch this video, then you know where we are. Please, today is your first time coming across this channel, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification button after subscribe so that you don't miss any update. You understand as it be now. Please run out for me, I'll be your guy. Subscribe.
Enduring in this country. We want you to use the opportunity of this press conference to make it known to the president of Nigeria that things are very bad with the Nigerian people, and they should do something about it. Not to give our demands for a better Nigeria as a child's play. Nigerian pensioners lament and cry out for help. Being the text of press conference organized by the national headquarters of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners on the prevailing economic hardships unleashed on innocent Nigerians arising from the unplanned removal of fuel subsidy held at the conference hall of the Union on Monday, 9th September 2024. Good day, gentlemen and women of the press. The Nigerian pensioners, through their umbrella body, the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, NUP, wish to unreservedly express their anger and frustrations on the pains unleashed on them and other vulnerable Nigerians over incessant hike in fuel prices, resulting from the unplanned fuel subsidy removal as pronounced by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during his inauguration ceremony in 2023. It is obvious that the Nigerian pensioners and other vulnerable groups in Nigeria are worse hit by the subsidy removal, which resulted to hyperinflation characterized by astronomical rise in the prices of goods and services, which has negatively affected every strata of our lives. Regrettably, as the poor Nigerians and pensioners alike, who are always at the receiving end of every obnoxious and insensitive policy of federal government, we are yet to recover from the last hike of PMS, which gave birth to the End Bad Governance protests across the country just a few months ago. And as if oblivious of the resultant consequences of the protests, the federal government defiantly went ahead to increase fuel price of PMS to further impoverish, pauperize, and choke the Nigerian masses in a manner capable of sending them to their early graves. As far as the NUP is concerned, this is the height of government insensitivity and lawlessness, which might result to unimaginable grave consequences, as Nigerians cannot afford to be beggars in their own oil-rich country. The essence of this press conference is to remind His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, of the devastating conditions of Nigerian pensioners who are growing and wallowing in abject poverty, worsened by the avoidable incessant fuel increase that have rendered their paltry monthly pensions useless. Pensioners have no one in government to speak for them, and the only voice they have, which is the NUP, is often neglected by the authority that be. And as we all know, a dog that can only bark but cannot bite is usually ignored and overlooked. As you know, we are retirees, and the power of trade unions is the strike power. Pensioners are already lying prostrate on the ground. We cannot go on strike, and that is what is happening. To crown it all, Nigerians and pensioners alike are daily crying to high heavens to free them from this enslavement and exploitation in their own country. Our patience is overtaxed. The most unfortunate and the unkindest cause of it all, and the case in point, is the failure of the federal government to honor and fulfill its promise of the much touted 25,000 naira palliatives to pensioners, alongside the 6 months wage award to both workers and pensioners, which, to the best of our knowledge, had been overlooked and forgotten. In another development, and in line with the current economic situations we find ourselves, we wish to humbly suggest that the federal and state governments should consider using the new minimum wage of 70,000 as a basic or template to recompute pension emolument. That is to say, if the minimum wage for the workers is increased by 110%, the same rate of increment should be used to adjust pensions, as it is an incontrovertible fact that all categories of wage earners are in the same ship navigating stormy waters. Therefore, given the present economic quagmire we find ourselves, it will be discriminatory to approve 110% for workers and give the pensioners less in the same economy. This argument can be logically buttressed by the simple fact that if If the idea for the minimum wage is to enable workers meet up with the ever-increasing cost of living and cushion the effects of hyperinflation, then the pensioners should get it too, as they are also affected by the vagaries of economic hardship. As we all now, as we all know, the pensioners are no longer in service and do not have any other means. Another means of settling their ever-piling bills. It is therefore equitable that they should be given living minimum wage. Finally, the Nigerian pensioners wish to express their disappointment with what is happening in the country today, in a nation that prides itself as giant of Africa, and in negation of its national anthem, which says, "The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain." As far as the pensioners' union is concerned, the labor of our heroes past and present is perpetually in vain. No thanks to their neglect over decades by the previous and present governments. This is the reason why our union has always canvassed for its involvement in the distribution of palliatives, disbursement of any social intervention funds for its members, as well as appointment of its leaders to head all pension-related organizations and its agencies for equitable and prudent management of the affairs, in line with the wise saying that it is he who wears the shoes that knows where it pinches. Finally, Your Excellency, the onus of fixing a broken economy lies with the leadership of every country, and it takes a courageous and committed leader to do this. We hereby call on you to take the bull by the horn and do the needful against all odds towards addressing the hunger problem ravaging the country, simply caused by fuel price hike, which in our thinking and judgment is reversible. Our amiable President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we admonish you to listen to the voice of the people and wipe their tears, and not to succumb to the dictates of the so-called international economists through the instrumentality of the IMF, who have always held the economy of this country by the jugular because of their selfish interests. As a man of action, Nigerians expect action from you now to fix the economy before the situation gets out of hand. A sitting time saves 9. This country is a general problem. It is not particularly for the pensioners alone. What we are doing today is to lend our voice to what other people have said before, to see whether the government can now listen. I believe that governments are there for the welfare, peace, security of the people. In this country today, we do not have peace. We have insecurity. And added to it is hunger. And it does not appear to all Nigerians that this government is doing its best to bring these punishments down. So that is why we are now calling, adding our voice to those of others, asking them that this is the moment now to act. Unless he's telling us that he is not the Nigerian president. If he does not know it, let him know it now, that the Nigerian people are groaning under the weight of the economic punishments that are being given to them. On the issue of Ajero, We do not want to cry more than the bereaved. What we are hearing now is that he has been arrested. The organization, the people, to take the first step will be the NLC. When they act, we will follow.
Thank you.